welcome to my channel. My name is Katlego Lucy and this is She is Strength. On the last video that we did, we talked about the importance and discipline of planning, right? And after I uploaded that video and after conversations that I had with people about that video, I realized that not knowing where to start when we are given visions or when we have visions is not the only problem that we have. But changing our habits so that they match these visions that we have and so that they match the kind of lives we're trying to create for ourselves is also a huge challenge that many of us have. A lot of us are not achieving things that we want to achieve because our daily habits do not match our aspirations. We want to start businesses. We want to be more focused. We want to have more productive days. We want to study effectively and pass tests. But our daily habits aren't those of people who want to achieve the things that we say we want to achieve, And the truth is, nothing will change unless or until you change. Nothing will change until you start performing habits and routines that do not go against the life that you're trying to build for yourself, that do not go against what you're trying to work towards. But as we all know, changing habits or changing a habit is not an easy thing. It is definitely a process. You won't just suddenly start waking up at 5 a.m. couple 12. You don't just wake up suddenly one day and be like, I'm gonna quit smoking. It is a process. But one thing for sure, habits can be changed, you just need to understand how they work, and that is what today's video is all about. I'm going to be discussing habit formation, how to eliminate and replace habits, and I'm also going to be sharing things that I do in my life to help me get rid of bad habits and to help me stay focused and disciplined. So earlier this year I read this book, The Power of Habit, and it talks about the scientific study of habits and examines why some people fail to eliminate or change their habits and change their lives despite years of trying, while other people just seem to remake themselves overnight. According to this book, a habit is a choice or a decision that you actively make at some point in your life and then stop thinking about but continue doing, often every day. For example, cigarettes. Smoking is a decision that you make at some point in your life. It's a decision that you make because you want to try this thing out. You want to see or to feel it's a decision that you make, and then you start doing it so often that you become used to it until now you do it without even thinking. Also, prior to that, when you wake up, you need to get a smoke. When you come from work, you need to get a smoke. Before you start working, you need to get a smoke. You are so used to it that you now do it without even giving much thought into it. You, at some point, you decided that you're gonna wake up at 11:30 because you needed rest, and you started doing it so often that now your body is used to it. Before about 12 or before about whatever time that you wake up at you are just that used to it that you do it without even thinking. So now, how habits work. And to make this understandable to all of you guys and to make it easy, I'm going to be using an example of being distracted by a cell phone when you're trying to study. Right. So the formation of a habit can be divided into 4 stages, right? The first stage is the cue. Now the cue is a trigger that propels you to perform a certain type of behavior. In this instance, that cue will be a vibrating phone. You are studying and your phone starts vibrating. Now this vibration is going to trigger you to take that phone and read the text because you want to know who's texting you, what the text is about, right? The second stage is the craving. The craving is the driving force behind a habit, because without a craving, you would not really have reason to act. You would not really have reason to do that thing. So in this instance, the craving is the fact that who sent you that text and what that text is about. Now after the craving comes the routine. The routine is the process of actually going on about performing the habit. In this case, the process of taking your phone, reading the text, knowing who it's from and what it's about. And after the routine comes the reward. The reward is the satisfaction that you get from performing the habit of performing that entire process, which in this instant is you now know who sent you the text and what the text was about. So how do we eliminate or replace habits? Firstly, you have to identify your habit, which in this case is the fact that you are easily distracted by your phone. How bala? You are all constantly on your phone. You have a bad habit of being on your phone when you're supposed to be studying. After identifying your habit, you identify your cue, which we already did in this case. The cue is the phone vibrating while you are studying. Once you have identified both of these things, now you try to find different ways to get the same reward. Now, what do I mean by this? In this case, our reward is knowing who the text was from and what the text was about. So instead of letting the cue be the vibration of the phone, why don't you tell yourself that, okay, maybe if I study for, I don't know, 45 minutes or an hour, only then will I be able to check my phone. You go on about it a different route, but you get the same reward. Once you have found or developed a different way of getting the same reward, you isolate and you eliminate the initial cue. In this case, the initial cue was the vibration. So now you're going to put your phone on silent, put it in a different room, go study in a different room for 45 minutes. After you have studied for that 45 minutes or whatever duration you set for yourself, now you can come back for that reward of knowing who sent you a text and what the text was about. And just to make it clear, this process of eliminating or replacing habits can work with literally every habit. I was just making an example, cell phone, to make it understandable for everybody. So if you have a habit that is holding you back, if you have a habit that is just making you procrastinate and it's just putting your things on hold, I promise you that this process that I just talked about of eliminating and replacing habits, if you put it to good use and it might definitely help you out. Now on to things that I do to help me get rid of bad habits and to help me stay focused and disciplined. Firstly, I honor my daily appointment with God. And I feel like this is the most important thing in my life, and I feel like this should be the foundation of literally everything. I mentioned in my previous video that the Bible offers guidance to literally anything, and it offers guidance to things like habits and procrastination as well. I have a lot of scriptures that I go to every time I feel like I'm developing habits that are holding me back, or every time I feel like I'm slacking, and I'm gonna read two of them for you guys. Proverbs 6 verses 10 to 11 says that a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come on you like a thief, and scarcity like an armed man. Every time I read these things, I'm just propelled to push and do better, because nobody wants to live in poverty and nobody wants scarcity to come onto them like an armed man. 1 Thessalonians 4 verses 11 to 12 says, and to make it your ambition to lead a quiet life, you should mind your own business and work with your hands, just as we told you, so that your daily life may win the respect of outsiders, and so that you will not be dependent on anybody. And also, you need to pray about your habits, because I really feel like we cannot overcome our habits. You need strength from God, you need guidance from God, you need God's divine power to help you overcome these habits that are holding you back. So definitely pray about your habits. Secondly, be intentional. I try to be as intentional as possible, and I try to take myself seriously at all times. And the one thing that helps me do this is that the fact that I always keep my why in mind. Remember why you started something. Why did you start this business? Why did you start this channel? Why did you start this initiative? Always remember your why, because on days when you don't feel motivated, or on days when you don't really feel like doing something, the reason that you started doing that thing is what's going to make you get up and do it. It's what's going to make you get up and go push, And also, when you say you're going to do something, do it. Don't teach yourself to not trust your own self. There are people, but Nikitse klotwa sing yo maka nna ka itseba hle o tswa sing go o sontse go bontsha how we take wena self. So how am I gonna trust you if you don't even trust yourself? You know, so take yourself seriously, man. If you say you're gonna do something, do it. Don't say and just be this person that's always procrastinating. When you set your mind to something, do it. Thirdly, I feed myself relevant information. You need to follow people who are where you are or where you are trying to be. There are many people on social media who can influence you or motivate you to be great. People like Bumile Dwaba, people like Gorgeous Mbali, people like Luyanda Duma. These are three of a lot of women that you can follow on social media that can have a very positive impact on in your life. And you need to follow relevant pages. The one page that has helped me a lot is before 5 a.m. These are the kind of pages and these are the kind of people that you need to be following on social media, not things that promote laziness and just chilling and doing nothing about nothing, you know. And also you need to read. I read a lot. You need to read, guys. Reading is important. Reading is very important, and there are so many self-help books that can help you overcome habits that hold you back. For example, this book, The Power of Habit, it explains how habits are formed, how you can change habit. It gives you an understanding of what habits are, a proper understanding of what habits are and how they work. And once you understand what something is and how it works, you can be able to work your way around it. You can be able to find ways to change it and to replace it with better habits. There are books like Atomic Habits, there are books like The 5 a.m. Club, books that can help you be more productive, have more productive mornings, change habits, bad habits, and replace them with positive habits. Fourthly, exercise. On top of the health and physical benefits of exercising, it also has an impact on other aspects of our lives. I'm a firm believer of the fact that how a person does one thing is how that person will do everything else. If you are able to push yourself when you're working out, if you're able to push yourself at gym or when you're exercising wherever, you will be able to push yourself the very same way in other aspects of your life as well. If you are able to be consistent with working out and with gym, you'll be able to be consistent in other factors of your life as well. And lastly, I have this, my weekly planner. When I say this is one of the best investments I made this year, I'm not joking. This thing has helped me be accountable, you know. This is how it looks on the inside. Every Sunday evening, I open it and I plan my week. It helps me be more accountable. It helps me be more productive because I already know that on this day I need to do this and this and this and this. On this day I need to do this and this and this and this. And by this time I need to be done with this. By this time I need to be done with this. It helps me be more productive. But the thing with weekly planners is that you need to be realistic. Being productive does not mean you have to do a million things in one day. If for today the only thing that you need to do is that you need to study, I don't know, whatever, and you need to work on this one thing, that's enough. Don't try to fill the entire thing with a million things because then you're never really gonna achieve anything. Set realistic things and don't be too harsh on yourself, and just see how it works for you. It really worked for me, so maybe it will work for you too. Alright guys, that's it for today. I hope this video was informative and constructive, and I hope that it will help you eliminate habits that are holding you back and replace them with more relevant and constructive habits. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and continue spreading the word. Ciao.